It is so important to create habits to make your sex life great. Here's what I mean. Hey guys, I'm Stephanie Ganowski, sexologist and sex coach for men. I've been working with just men for 6 years now, helping them with their dick-related issues and also help them talk more comfortably and confidently about sex. I want to talk to you about the importance of habits that will lead to a healthy, easy, fun sex life. Let's say as easy as possible, right? Because it's not always easy 100% of the time your entire life, and that's normal. That's okay. But what habits are you putting into place so that it is as easy as it could possibly be? Never be in that place where you're like, we used to do this and now it's just awkward to do again. We used to make out and now it's just kind of awkward and I'm waiting for the right time because we haven't done that in years. What's going to prevent that from happening? Consistency, right? Habit formation. So for instance, if you create a habit now on going on date nights, for instance, this is something that's going to keep that quality time a habit in your relationship. And maybe you have kids and it gets harder to leave the house, but instead you have a date night where you play a game together on the bed before you fall asleep one night of the month, right? Like you are consistent regardless of how great the date may be, you still prioritize it no matter what. And it can look different every time. It doesn't always have to be an extravagant dinner, right? It's all about the habit. It's about keeping it in your life so that it's always there. Another habit you could put into place is being physical. This is when you are trying to initiate sex, but also when you're not trying to initiate sex. An example of this might be kissing, hugging, giving each other little massages, holding each other's hands, right? Always building connection in a physical way. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It becomes this natural thing that you guys gravitate towards because it's the new norm, right? It's become habit. It's more about prioritizing it than just keeping a habit. But if you think about it like a habit, it might work better for you. Then there are habits that are more emotional and maybe based around communication, which is the most important thing when it comes to keeping a healthy sex life. So for instance, something my boyfriend and I do are relationship check-ins. So every single month we have a check-in with each other. Even if we're doing fine, we still have a check-in because it's all about keeping a habit and just doing it anyway. Really helped our relationship because it creates this space where we know we can always talk about anything, be wide open, share our fantasies, share the things we want to try, share our disappointments and our concerns in ourselves or in each other, right? And to have a space to do that and to do it consistently is so powerful for a relationship because you don't get to the place of putting it away or waiting for the perfect time to discuss something. Instead, you know you have an opportunity that's coming up very consistently, and then sex is never weird to talk about. That is my goal, to never be in a relationship where sex is awkward or talking about it, figuring things out is awkward because we just simply stop doing it. We stop talking about it or stop having it, right? Like that is something I will never allow in my life. And I'm starting with this relationship check-in. You can start now, right? Like if you haven't been doing this, you can initiate check-in conversations and just start now. If you don't know how to lead these conversations, if you're like, Steph, I don't know what I would talk about, that's even so awkward, even bringing this up, right? I get that. What we do is we have a 3-section, more like 3 questions that guide us through the check-in. The first question is, are you living life the way you want to live it? And you want me to hold you accountable to anything? So this is us acknowledging our independence and being able to verbalize if we're living life the way we want to as an individual person. And then if we need help, like, hey, I want to be someone who doesn't watch that much TV, and it would really help me if we both watched less TV or just didn't watch it on the weekdays and only on the weekends. Can you do that? Yeah, cool. Can you do that? No, I really like TV. I don't want to do that, but I'll watch it outside the room so that we're not in bed and you don't have to watch it together. Okay, cool. Thanks. Right? So that's like an example of something that you can bring up for that question. The second question we ask each other is, are there any concerns, anything on your mind that you want to discuss that where there's disappointment or concern or a challenge and we need to talk it through? This is the one that's most like, what's going to happen here? Or like it can lead to this conversation being really long or really short, right? And it's important to talk about challenges and it's important to realize they're normal. Everyone has them. And you have to talk about them. You should really talk about them as soon as they come up, if that's possible. It's good to nip it in the bud, talk about it, take care of it, find a way to work through it together. And that way you can move forward without resentment or without holding things in. So that second question is talking about each other's concerns. And then we help each other through each one as much as we can. The third question is, what have you been grateful for lately? And this is just full-on gratitude for each other. We go back and forth with the gratitudes, the specific gratitudes we have from that month, specific things we really appreciated in each other or really, really thankful for. It's a great way to close it out. It's also a great way to remind each other how powerful gratitude is. And it really leaves us in this place of feeling full after that conversation. So this is just the way we go about it. Sometimes the check-in will be about 10 minutes long, and other times it could be a couple hours if we're dealing with something that's an issue we're facing and having a hard time figuring out. But we figure it out together, and that's the point of the check-ins, and that's a habit that we've instilled into our relationship and plan on continuing into the future in the hopes that it will keep sex an ongoing conversation and keep our relationship as a whole an ongoing open communication space. So I hope this gives you some ideas of what habits you can put into place to feel like your sex life is solid or feel like your relationship is more secure for you. There are plenty of things we can do, and some things come to us naturally. Other things might be weaknesses of ours. And those are the areas we might be like, what's a habit I can put into place and really work on and focus on until it becomes just the norm and I don't really have to worry about it because it's always kind of there. Think about this. Hope it helps you. See you in the next video.